and welcome to Not All Fire. I'm Jude Evans.
And I'm Joe Hart.
Hi, Joe. How are you today?
Hello, Jude. I'm sat here with two dogs who are whimpering and whining. So apologies in advance if you hear them. But
I don't think I can
I'm
hear
doing
them,
all right.
so hopefully it's not recorded.
Good. Excellent.
I've had one of those eventful days that has been slightly traumatic. So I went to go to a school down in Leicester this morning. I left my house at 7:45, and I got down the road about 15 minutes, and a deer ran out in front of me, and I hit a deer whilst I was doing 60 down a single carriageway road in the back of Beyond. I'm okay. I'm okay. Actually, I'm not traumatized, which all of my friends has been very, very surprised about because I am terrible at that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's a deer. I'm going to say I hit the deer at 60. Don't think the deer's very well. I have my car is drivable, but I have slightly taken out a light, and there's a little bit of deer fluff in a cracked bit of the bumper, and so yes. So I've been dealing, as well as going out and carrying a fire risk assessment with Josh down at school in Leicester. I have been speaking to various insurance people. I have to say thank you to Lisa for doing the lobster clause and helping me earlier.
Yeah. Not pleasant, is it? I was going to say, we've just had a little 20-minute preamble before we came on air, and we didn't mention, but you texted me earlier. I've cut your license plate out of the text before I show it on camera. It's pretty big damage, that, and it doesn't look it from afar, but actually when you get in, I imagine...
When you get in, you're like, actually, yeah, no, it is. I'll send you the video, because obviously I have a dash cam, so I will send you the video of seeing the deer later. I mean, literally, no. it just ran straight across the road. This is the time of year that they do an awful lot, and I'd already seen a deer literally 2 minutes from my house running through the field, bouncing up through the hay, and I was bouncing out through the wheat that's coming up, and I was like, oh, it's crazy deer, it's kamikaze deer season, and then it's kamikaze deer season.
Oh, it's not a nice feeling at all. I've never had it with a deer. I've had it with like a pheasant and then the odd bird, a pigeon that flies in and that. Yeah, but yeah, I imagine it's really bad. I'd be proper traumatized, you know.
Do you know what? I am so surprised. I am literally not traumatized at all.
Absolute I'm savage. Like, Are you going to go get another one now?
So there was a Morrison's van in front of me who was doing 35, so I'd overtaken it, and this bit of road is crumbling on both sides, so everybody literally drives down the middle of the white line, except when there's something coming towards you. And I sort of tonked it up to 60, and literally out the corner of my eye, just shot across, and I couldn't do anything about it. Hit it, pulled over and slowed down. The Morrison's van behind me obviously stopped as well, and I went and checked the front to see if didn't feel a rumble like I'd driven over it, so I was like, oh, probably bounced. So Morrison's van stopped behind me and was like, well, you couldn't have done anything because I was behind you, and it was like, it's just what it is. But we couldn't see it. We couldn't see the deer. There's lots of long grass around at the moment as well. Couldn't see the deer. I hadn't noticed when I checked my car that I'd lost that bottom corner light and or corner cover. It's part of my parking sensors. So one of my parking sensors has literally been ripped off. So I'm driving off, and then I'm now getting warning lights going, your parking sensors have been disabled. You need to go and get it serviced. Now I've already got it serviced. I booked it in for Friday for service anyway, but it might well be that it goes to having spoken to the insurance guys that it might have to go in and be fixed. So I'll have to cancel the service. So I'll get a courtesy car.
Oh,
it's just frustrating. Just frustrating.
Yeah. So. Well, I've got a thought on that because I've had a smash in the car as well this week. But time for the weekly feature of the show. Your microphone's gone wobbly.
Oh, no.
I know. But whilst you rectify that, let me tell you, I actually didn't have a crash in the car, but my windscreen smashed this week in the heat because it was so hot.
Oh my God.
I was driving and
I've never had that.
No,
I mean, I've had stones, but I've never had that.
Well, what happened, right, is I was on a Teams call at the time in the car, so I didn't have the video on. I was just on audio, right? And
I regularly do those.
Audio
Teams calls.
And I said to the guys as in a call, I said, I'm going to pull over because my windscreen's just gone a bit funky. What's going on here? and there was a perfect. It is a perfect linear crack, top to bottom, right in the middle, not in my field of view, between the passenger and the driver. So I thought, bloody hell, what's going on here? I thought that's not legal. And what I then did was I saw it and I thought, when I was driving, I don't know why, just for some reason, I thought I'll put the windscreen wiper on in the hope it's going to wipe the crack away, I guess. But what it did was the windscreen wiper snagged on it and bowed. So it was enough of a crack that it had caused a thing. So, bloody hell. Anyway, long story short, I'll spare you some of the detail. But it turns out the company we went to, I went to and I thought they'll inject it and it'll be fine. And they said, it's so hot, we're not doing it at the moment because we're getting so many calls. And what it is, I can vaguely relate this to fire, or at least to a bit of thermodynamics.
Laminated windows.
They said it's actually They said, "Did you have the aircon on, Joe?" I said, "Yeah." Have you seen the bloody weather? Of course, I had the aircon on. And it's the heat stress that the window is under. So because it was cool on the inside and hot on the outside, they think a stone has hit it, which under normal conditions would be fine. It wouldn't do anything. But because the heat stress that it had just caused it to go. So I was like, bloody hell, I was down in where I was in Great Yarmouth. So I was nowhere near home. I was in the middle of nowhere. I was already in a bad enough mood because I was in Great Yarmouth. Sorry to anyone from Great Yarmouth, but you've no defence, sadly.
It's got a nice pit.
Yeah, and there ends the nice things about what I said to the team needs to stop calling itself Great Yarmouth. It needs to reassess that name at once. I actually I said some very offensive things in the team's chat, so I won't share those on air. But yeah, it was a right hassle. So my car's got a bit of a dent in it as well.
I wonder if that happens a lot then in like really hot countries, like
I can imagine it. Imagine it would.
Or really cold countries where you've got the heating on really, really hot and you're driving around in minus 20, 30 degrees.
Well, that's what they said. They said that the window is under greater stress, the heat stress, when there's a bigger differential between inside and outside temperature, which made perfect sense to me as a scientist. I thought, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I was annoyed, and I had just before this happened turned on the blowers that go onto the windscreen, so it made even more sense to me because I was just trying to clear the inside and circulate the air a bit. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell! Well, that's the traffic news for the week, isn't it?
No, it's not the traffic news. No,
it isn't.
Because last Thursday, my 2-hour, and now we're on to road traffic news.
Another feature of the Fire Safety Podcast.
Another feature of the Fire Safety Podcast. I drove from Brentwood. I left Brentwood on Thursday at 5:15, and I arrived in just south of Oxford at my hotel at 9:30. And the reason my 2-hour journey took so long is because they closed the M25 right in front of me, and I had to go up, like all the other traffic had to come off on the M11 and then go fiddle my way around. And then I got to the A40 just north of Oxford, and they closed that as well.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, how unlucky. And then on my way home on Friday from said Oxford, there'd been a massive accident on the M40 just at the A34 junction. So that was shut for a bit while they did some work. And then the M1 was shut. So I had 4 closed roads in 24 hours that I was stuck in.
Gosh.
So the road gods were not on my side last week.
No fun at all, is it? I had a similar experience, continuing road news, on the Fire Safety Podcast last night. So I was driving back last night from London, back up home. So it's a long enough drive as it is.
It's miles.
And I think I left at, what time did I leave? Maybe 4 o'clock. So I was expecting I'll be home for 8, 9 o'clock. Maybe 10 on a bad day. 1 a.m. I trundled in at home last night. And it was because the M6 was closed. I sat there on just in the middle of the road for 2 hours. I got that bored, Jude. I listened to last week's episode of Not All Fire. Not even joking.
Goodness me. You really were desperate.
It was bad, I'm telling you, yeah. But, hate it, driving. Yeah, annoying.
Boo. Well,
but then, complaining about travel, I'm in London on Thursday because I'm there for a couple of days, so Thursday, Friday. Tube strike. Typical.
No.
Tube strike today, tube strike Thursday. Announced last minute. Bloody carnage. Oh, hate it. Hate everything.
See my little tiny hand. See my little tiny hand.
Who's this?
So, Mr. Tiny. So we've started following an Instagram account called Mr. Tiny Hand, who is very, very funny, very much in the kind of work thing, because you can go tap, 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 and you can tap, tap, tap on things. And what is this? And what is this?
Okay,
and like you have a Teams message that says, yes, I will get back to you by the end of day. And then it's 5:15 and it's like tap, 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 tap.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So we've been having great fun with Mr. Tiny Hand.
Mm.
Why are you late? What is happening?
Right. Okay.
So
Is it just
for
on?
those of you watching, this will make sense. For those of you listening, it's a telescopic handle that extends out to about 1.5 feet with a very tiny hand with the index finger pointed out that you can then wave around and tap on things.
And is this an online thing only? You don't do this in live meetings and team meetings where you're poking in people's faces, or is that acceptable?
Absolutely used most. Well, I only got it at the weekend, and I absolutely used loads of it yesterday during the day.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I gave one to Debbie and Roger so they could use it for their daughter, so they could like tap on the plates that she hasn't put in the dishwasher, and then tap on the dishwasher and all that kind of thing.
Nice.
So yes, they will be making appearances at various conferences and things that I will be doing over the next few months. I have no doubts.
Mr. Tiny Hands, I like that. Very good. Very
Well,
formal.
also, it's really good when you take a photograph, if you're pointing at something and you go, see in the photograph, see this thing here, see this thing
fair
here.
enough. Yeah. Genuinely good at a conference. You could actually extend it and point at something on screen.
I know,
Actually, quite
right?
helpful. Yeah. Oh, I like it. I'm going to check out Mr. Tiny Hand on what was it, Instagram?
Instagram, Mr. Tiny Hand. It's very, very funny actually. You will absolutely appreciate quite a lot of the work-related ones. So
Excellent. I shall check it out.
yes.
I need a new
Yes.
management style. I always need new management tricks. So we'll my team will relent that you told me about this.
We like Mr. Tiny Hand. Anyway, should we do some fire chat?
Let's do some fire chat, shall we?
Did you see that massive fire at the fireworks factory in Malta?
I didn't see it. Somebody sent me the link to it earlier today, and I said I'll do that on the podcast because I'm recording it tonight, and I didn't read it.
Was it Sharon?
No, it wasn't. It was someone in my team. It was Steve. You know, Steve Scarrett sent it to me. He sends me big fires. I'll tell you why they sent it to me, though. It's because it was only 2 weeks ago we had a fireworks factory explosion in China, I want to say, that we did on the show. So we've had another one. Yeah.
Well, Sharon said that she used to live in Malta when she used to do diving, and she said it was a really common occurrence for fires in the firework factories. It's quite a massive explosion, though.
No, what's happened then? Furnish me with some details. I've not seen it.
I saw a video of a really big explosion.
Yeah. A factory, you said there, not
Yes.
a warehouse.
No,
Okay.
fireworks factory. That's literally, I don't actually even know where my phone is. Oh, there it is. That was I did a golden retriever moment then where I couldn't find it and it was sitting in front of me. What did she say? I mean, literally, that's all I know. That is very much all I know. A Big Bang. She said it was an annual occurrence. An annual occurrence.
Oh, right.
My sound appears to be on. How do I make my sound go off? Suddenly forgetting how to use tech. Yes, I mean, a big explosion. A big explosion.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's interesting because we said with China when the one happened a couple of weeks ago, which was fireworks again, I think, that there is a disproportionately high number of explosions there because there's a disproportionately high number of fireworks manufactured there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And I wonder, I've never known Malta, I don't know a lot about Malta, but to be a manufacturing hub.
I will tell you that the key headline of the article in the Telegraph is that a fireworks factory has exploded in Malta, injuring 3 people and killing 4 cows.
Oh no!
Do you remember harking back to our very, very first episode where we talked about oyster-faced cats? What was that actress's and singer's name?
Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne. Well done. I could just about remember Cara. And then I couldn't remember the rest.
Yeah, she'd had a cat that was in a fire and was rescued, and that was our first episode title, wasn't it?
Her house was in a fire. Yeah. Again, people are human interest story. Mention animals.
Yeah, that's right. Can I propose that the episode of tonight, the title of tonight's episode, could be "Dear Oh Dear" because you've slaughtered a deer on the roads.
Slaughterer.
In honor of your kill.
In honor of my kill. I think we can probably do that. I don't think there's been any more consultations or any more guidance notes or any more documentation that I've seen come out since last week after we very much ranted about documentation and consultations.
Yeah, not that I've seen. I have got around to reviewing some though. I've been looking at the ADB one a little bit this week.
Because
I've only started having a look.
They're due to be, the consultation will be closing on some of them soon.
Yeah, so that's why I started looking through it.
actually next week, because we've moved some of our specials around, we're going to do the insurance special next week. But next week, of course, is the 9th anniversary of Grenfell.
Tears, isn't it? Yeah.
On the 14th. So 9 years. 9 years.
Yeah. Well, we've also, of course, been getting the prosecutions, which I think we talked about last week, didn't we? Start to be announced. So that's coming kind of in line with the anniversary. I think it is not intentionally, I don't think, but they'd said that there will be prosecutions in line with 9 and 10 year anniversaries. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that, won't we? In fact, I know we are going to touch on that in the insurance episode about how do we get insurance covered during these and after these major incidents.
Oh yeah, so it is quite a challenge. It is quite a challenge, actually, isn't it? Not strictly on new guidance or new documentation. I've had an interesting project recently where one of the construction firms that I work with had turned around and said, we've been putting our inverters for our PVs. They stopped putting them in lofts, which that took quite a while to get people to stop putting them in lofts. And they were like, oh, we've been putting them in riser cupboards. Again, like AOV equipment goes in riser cupboards and various bits and pieces like that. And then one of them came to me earlier this week, or was it the end of last week, and went, we moved it from the loft into this cupboard, and the HA were happy, the housing association that might get the flat said that it was fine. And now they've just come back to us and said, oh no, you can't have it there anymore. Right. And they were like, can we justify saying that we do have to, or do we need to have it moved? And so obviously I reread ADB, and there's some various bits of ADB which say that in a sterile corridor or a sterile stairwell, in a sterile stairwell, you can't have anything apart from mains, electrics and lifts. And then any corridors or any things leading off them, you can't have anything other than mains, electrics and lifts.
Yeah.
And actually, Cross did a report on this. Cross Safety did a report on this last summer.
Oh,
about
okay.
the fact that it appears that everybody's just been put them in cupboards because they're kind of like mains electrics, but of course they're not, because actually a lot of these inverters generate heat. And if you look at a lot of the guidance from the inverter manufacturers, they turn around and say, oh yeah, it's got to have this much clearance either side and this much clearance above and below, and it has to have good ventilation.
Yeah.
And then we stick them into a riser cupboard that's fire stopped top and bottom and has a fire door on it and has the mains electrics in it. And I was like, oh, I think this is something that a lot of people have missed, because I've been going out and looking at stuff and it's absolutely correct. But then it got me to thinking, well, should we then be not having AOV equipment in there? Should we not have CCTV equipment in there? Because if ADB says you can only, I mean, obviously this is the current version of ADB. If ADB says you can only have mains electrical and lifts in these kind of corridors, does that mean we now have to take everything out apart from fuse boards?
But how practicable is that? Look at how much kit you get in stairs and risers. Yeah, bloody everything.
Loads and loads. Well, and it's all in fire, but it's all in fire rated risers. It's all in fire protected cupboards. But should it be there? Certainly inverters. I mean, fortunately, the block of flats that we're talking about has got an internal bin store that they can create a fire rated cupboard in the corner that's by the front, and it can have vents top and bottom, so it can have circulation of air, and they can put the fire door in it and it's fine.
Which you're putting into the bin store anyway for environmental ventilation, so that helps solve two problems. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Nice. So you've got other stuff. So you've got other stuff in the bin store anyway. But then I was like, well, but what about all the other stuff? Loads of blocks have got CCTVs now. Loads of blocks have got, every block's got an AOV control. Does an AOV control, should that not be in there? How? Because I've done a load of technical documents recently for one particular major house builder, explaining really intricate, detailed, tiny sections of ADB. So this is a sentence, and then expanded into a 3-page report with pictures and explaining, understanding why.
Yeah.
It's almost like we have to do that with everything now, because everybody is asking for, what are the reasons behind this?
Yeah.
This is our prescriptive guidance, but they want to know why it's prescriptive, and I'm like, because it's the building regs and the government has said this is what it should be, but now everybody wants the justification that actually what is in ADB is correct.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to sneeze then when you said government. It literally came on. I think it's gone. I think it's dissipated. But as soon as you said the word government, my nose started going and I was about to sneeze. It might come back. I'll edit it out if it does. Hitting the technical one then. So
I know.
Inverters, right? Inverters in lofts. Bit of a no-no
Well,
for a lot of people.
Yeah, because and the manufacturers say you can't put them up there because they generate lots of heat. Some of them do, some of them don't. They need to be ventilated. Where's the ventilation? They need to be accessed easily by the fire service if they need to be switched off.
Yeah. But an inverter has a moving part in it. That's the point, isn't it? So it's going to have, it's taking direct current to alternating current. So it is physically, oh, that sneeze is so nearly there. I was going to sneeze then. That's so annoying. How do you bring on a sneeze, Jude? Don't point at me with your little pointy hand, man. Oh, that sneeze is just going to sit there. It's not going to come out. How annoying. An inverter is not just like
no, it's not just a mains box that sits on the wall. It's a doing thing.
It is. It has higher risk than other things, which is why it has a slightly more onerous requirements. And as you say, it gives out heat, so that makes sense. Not putting that in a loft makes sense. Not putting it in a stair makes sense. The section of ADB talks about use of protected stairs and things, and it is
paragraph 3.78. Use of space within protected stairways. A protected stairway should not be used for anything else except a lift well or electricity meters. Electricity meters should be in securely locked cupboards. Cupboards should be separated from the escape route by fire resisting construction. Gas service and installation pipes and meters should not be within the protected stairway unless in accordance with the various guidance. Every protected stairway should lead to a final exit, either directly or via a protected exit passageway. Any protected exit stair, corridor or stair should have the same standard of fire resistance and lobby protection as the stair it serves. So that is very much, I'm like, if we can only have electric meters, there's so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
Door exit control.
Yeah.
CCTV. AOV. A card meter would be a meter, so that's okay.
Yeah. You see, reading that and taking it to the letter of the guidance, it doesn't say in there we can't put them in corridors. It says it can't be in the stair, nor can it be in the section of corridor at the base of the stair to outside. And
no. Any protected exit corridor or stair should have the same standard of any protected exit corridor should have the same standard of fire resistance and lobby protection as the stair it serves. So in my interpretation, that would be if you've got a stair and then you've got corridors off it with flaps and you've got a riser in those corridors, that has to be the same as the stair.
You see, I read it differently, and I've got a reason that sprung to mind immediately on it, and that sneeze is coming. That sneeze is on its way, Jude. I promise you. It's so annoying.
It's gonna be so loud. It's gonna knock the internet out.
Not in my head office. You can't sneeze too much. You might lose a roof. So I read that as being that the stair itself has a higher provision than corridors, i.e., you can't have combustible materials opening into it, inverters, blah blah blah. And at the base of the stair, if you have a corridor that leads to the final exit, that has to be the same as the stair, i.e., when you enter it, you don't get a lower level of protection on the way out. But here's the reason that I don't think it applies to corridors upstairs. It's because if I've got a corridor, I can have a flat opening into that corridor protected by a single 30-minute door. And the risk in a flat is far higher than in a riser cupboard that contains an inverter, or a riser cupboard that contains all my CCTV kit or whatever. So I would be comfortable with a service cupboard or a service riser opening into a corridor, because we're accepting, we put provisions into a corridor, don't we, in terms of smoke control and ventilation and things,
we do,
to mitigate that, which we don't have the benefit of in the stair. We have an AOV, but there's not much else that we can do. And again, if the engineer in me kicks in immediately and I think, all right, risk wise, comparative, if I'd be happy with a flat that's got a 5 megawatt fire going and a single door opening into the corridor, risk wise.
But
Is
you'd
it
have a
not?
protected lobby we'd have a protected lobby in the flat.
Not in all cases. ADB allows you to have, if you've got less than 9 meters, an open plan flat opening into a corridor. But here's the
But would you
clincher.
have a 5 megawatt fire because if you have a flat that doesn't have an entrance lobby, a protected entrance lobby, you have to, the furthest point must be 9 meters from the flat entrance door, and 9 meters is the length of my kitchen.
Yeah. But you could have a 5 megawatt fire within there, which is a typical flat fire.
I suppose it would be a bed and a sofa, I suppose.
Yeah, let's say, if it's open plan, it's probably a studio, so you've got a sofa and a bed going, and then you've got the ignition risk of a cooker hob. But the key point is that 5 megawatt fire is only separated from the common corridor by a single FD30S door.
Yeah.
Now, if I have a service cupboard and that's in the opening to the corridor as well, single FD30S door, but the risk in that service cupboard is far lower than an entire flat involved in fire. So I read that as being that section of ADB, a stair has to have additional protection, and this is the clincher, the thing that convinces me that train of thought is correct. What does ADB not allow to open into a stair? A flat.
A flat.
It says
unless it's a small, simple building. Yeah.
Unless it's small single stair building, less than 11 meters, 2 flats per story, etc., etc., etc. Now,
less than 4.5 meters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 3 stories or something, isn't it? Yeah, not 11.
4.5
Jeez,
meters. Yeah.
completely wrong. So yeah, I think that section of guidance tells us you can have services opening into a corridor. It's actually lower risk that those services open in than the flats that we've already accepted are going to do it.
You're right. No,
The stair needs protection, and the section of corridor from the base of the stair to the final exit needs protection. And this kills me all the time.
It's that. Yeah, you're right. It's because it actually the section is exits from protected stairways.
Yeah.
Rather than exits into protected stairways.
Yeah. Now
lovely, another lovely clear paragraph in approved document B.
Sloppy wording, isn't it? What it needs is a diagram, but so does every section of approved document B. And like you say, you take a little protection of guidance and help to do an explainer for a client, and you put diagrams in and examples and stuff, and it becomes clear.
And that's literally 2 sentences, and now we've had to move. And to be fair, the cupboards that they did have in that area wouldn't have been appropriate because they didn't have any ventilation. But
yeah,
it's getting, we're getting better building these, but what is happening is we've got people who are creating the template drawings who sometimes don't necessarily have the right input of information from the different approved documents.
Yeah. Do you know, I've just recently, because I've just, it was last week, in fact, it was the 4-year anniversary of my engineering business. So we had a little celebration, and I took the opportunity because we, 1st of June, we kind of start the new business plan for that particular business. I took the opportunity to go through the last year's metrics and data and all that stuff, which I love doing. That's where I'm in my element, really.
You like that kind of stuff? Yeah.
The answer to any question you have in business is in the detail somewhere, and we capture enough data. We've got a data scientist in house and stuff, so we can do that to our benefit. And I went through what type of services we've provided in the last year and how it's different to 4 years ago. It's useful to be able to track that year on year and understand how's not only our business changing, but how's the sector changing. Biggest
like
growth
you did
area.
400 FRAEWs 3 years ago, and this year you've done 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that mirrors a trend we see in industry. Now, the thing that we've seen the biggest growth in is something that we call a design review. And a design review is usually what we do, where we just review a set of plans and give comments before drafting a strategy, right?
Yeah, I do loads of those. I do loads and loads and loads of those.
Yeah, and it's not because we're any better at design reviews than we were 4 years ago. It's not that we have people that specialise only in design reviews. It's that we're asked to do them so much more often. So it's here's a set of plans, and frankly, at REBA Stage 2, which is our first design for the most part, there are 2 things a client cares about, and I get why. Right? Is there anything in here that's an approvals risk? What's going to cost me money? And that's all they care about. And a design review is a set of marked up plans to say, before we even think about writing strategies and presenting to building control or whatever, these are the headlines.
Does it look right? Yeah.
It's just that little smell test, isn't it? Just, does it work? And design reviews for us by far are the biggest growth area we've had. Organic growth, we haven't chased that and marketed it, but it's what people want. So yeah, it's been an interesting little. As I say, the answer is usually in the detail somewhere. If you capture data well enough, your business plan writes itself, sort of thing. And that sounds a bit cliche, but
No,
just
no.
rely on the data. You know.
Well, I'm now I have my lovely operations director who's been with us a month now. Now Carol's been with us and I don't like you. I don't read my emails anymore. I have somebody who does that for me.
Lovely.
So
Isn't it a
much
nice
time
feeling?
back. I'm only really 3 weeks in, and I'm still incredibly nervous. And because I'm like, oh, but what about everything? But then she tells me everything I need to know, and I don't need to worry about stuff. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, one less thing to worry about, isn't it?
I'll get the hang. I will get the hang of it soon. She's getting very good at being able to write in my voice.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
nice.
Very disconcerting.
Yeah. Do you know
But,
what? One day this podcast will just become Charlotte and Carol, and it's just our PAs doing it because they're so good at mirroring us. Wouldn't that be a good episode? It's just our PAs doing impressions of us.
Carol's about to go on a validation and verification course for fire risk assessments.
Oh, okay, that's valuable. I see the benefit there.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell you, actually, we had every month we try and do it once a month where we get everybody together and we have a day where we get everything done. The GSD. Most people can guess what the S stands for, but we get a lot of stuff done that day.
Doesn't stand for everything, does it?
And one of the things we did yesterday is that I've had this business for a very long time, and I've always gone, okay, if I'm going to write reports, I'll call it FRA, client name, building name, date, something like that. And it's all very, very wordy. Now, we have had 2 issues in the last couple of weeks. We've had 2 of my construction clients in 2 different locations that are both building flat block E, of which I have done 2 reports, and everybody got very confused as to which one everybody had to invoice because it's just block E.
Oh, we're talking the name of the document when you save it and issue it here. It was block E, revision 1, whatever.
E.
Right.
And because I'm still getting used to Carol taking over everything and looking and managing and all that kind of stuff, there was just a lot of confusion as to which client this particular block E report belonged to. So that was we sent some invoices out to the wrong people in the wrong order, but it's fine. We've sorted that out now. And the other one is that we've got 2 clients who have got very, very similar names.
Yeah.
As an example, Frederick Construction London, Frederick Construction Consultants.
Yeah.
And so we're getting those 2 because I'm working on projects for both of them at the moment. And again, we're getting confused. So we spent about an hour yesterday working out how to do project document numbering.
Like a naming convention for your reports.
A naming convention. So
very good. Yeah.
When we do drawings and when we do documents for some of our projects, especially some of our engineering projects, there's an ISO standard. Oh God, I literally can't remember what it is. I've used it on a couple of projects, and I've got a couple of my clients have been really kind and given us the naming protocols. So it says that you put this and then you put this and then you put this, and it's always like 4 numbers and then a hyphen and then your 3-letter number code, your company code, and then whether it's the whole building, it might be XX, or it doesn't refer to any part of the building, because it's normally for drawings. So it's all related to how what the naming protocol for drawings is. You can have the different floor levels, the different whether it's a M&E or whether it's plumbing or whether it's fire or anything like that. So we sat down and basically went, okay, we've amongst all of us, and we had a really good discussion about should we categorize people by category of organization. So like, well, this is a commercial property, or this is a local authority, or this is a school, or should we just go right? Because again, loads of my clients have got the same acronyms. There's an awful lot of companies that have BBC as their acronym.
Oh, is there? Okay.
And I work for several of them.
Right, sure.
It's quite annoying. So we've gone, okay, well, we can have the 3 letters, and then we'll have like 3 letters, then 3 numbers. So every client will have a company specific code. And then we'll obviously have our ROW, so that when anybody gets the report, they know it's from us.
Yeah.
And we'll allocate every single project a specific project number, because we've never done that in the past. We've never really had to, because it's only ever been me. So I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then each project, when we send out a fee proposal, there's maybe 5 different sections. So sections A to C, A to E, for example. So then you have project reference, scope section. And then you've got whether it's an FRA, whether it's a technical report, whether it's a fire strategy, whether it's anything. So we've worked out a naming protocol that we are going to start using from the 1st of July for all of our reports, because that way then absolutely everything is traceable.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice.
So
Little details like that are so important when you scale and you've got multiple, those little things like, you've got clients who have the same initials. That just comes up through.
So honestly, so Brentwood Borough Council and Basildon Borough Council, and then obviously the British Broadcasting Corporation.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
They're all BBC. And
BC is like building consultants, building contractors. You could have any number of iterations of that where people have those initials. Yeah. So
it gets quite confusing sometimes. It's fine. I've got it all in my head. Carol's still at the moment trying to drill my head and suck everything out.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
But it's hard because of course I sit there and go, well, I know all of this because I know all all the projects. Yeah. But then all of a sudden you get loads more people doing stuff, and you're like, how do we facilitate it?
Oh, you see, I had an advantage here, and I've always maintained that advantage. That when I set up the fire engineering business that I now lead, I decided what the naming convention was for projects and did it for project number 1.
Yeah.
So my naming convention, or what I call document nomenclature, is the policy that I wrote. I wrote that, and it said every prospect that we get, which is somebody brings us a do you know what? First of all, before I launch into this, I'll only do it for a couple of minutes because we're coming towards the end of the show. But I get loads of people write to me about this show saying this is valuable to them. They either think about their own policies, or people that are thinking about starting their own business and going their own. Like, these are the valuable insights. So it's worth a minute or two at the end of the show on it. That what I decided was every prospect I get gets a number, which is PN. Something, which stands for prospect number.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then so every inquiry I ever get has a PN number. Now, because I knew I was going to end up with different teams doing different things, I then have a project number, which starts with a code based on which team's running it. So an FE number is the fire engineering team, an RD number is the research and development team, FT is a fire training team. So every prospect then, if it gets one, goes over and it will get FE001, FT002, whatever, and it'll get a project number. And I'm really fortunate that when I set up the business, I knew I was going to do what I've done, or I didn't know I was quite going to do it. I thought I might do things differently, and not everything is planned, but I knew I would scale and have staff someday, so I thought I'm going to build it. So in 50 years, when I'm long dead and long buried and long retired, trust me, you'll be able to look back to the first prospect I wrote 4 years ago and 4 years and a week ago from today, and it will follow what I hope will be the same convention, because it is details like that. Again, I've talked about details a couple of times tonight, but it's those things totally get that. They're important.
Yeah, I totally get that, but of course, it's only ever going to be me. It's only ever going to be me. So why do I need to do that? Because it's only ever going to be me. And now it absolutely is not me. So we need to get the rest of the team involved. So no, that was really good. And what was nice is it's based on everybody else's systems that's out there, and it's based on the standards, but we've made it work for us. Yeah.
But then somebody will be able to, and this has happened to me in the last week, but this happens quite often. Someone will go, hey Joe, I've got a project from your firm. I wonder if you could get me some more detail. And I'll go, are you looking at the report right now? They go, yeah, it's on my screen. I'll go, could you give me that little 4-digit code? And then I can go straight on my system and find it. And I don't have to prat about, because, your project might be called High Tower. And I go, but I've also worked on 4 buildings with that fairly generic title.
Yeah. Again, every flat block that I work on is either flat block A, B, C, D, or E.
Yeah. I must have about 5 projects called Park View. I can think of two resi jobs, 2 care homes, Park View this, Park View that. Everyone keeps building near parks and calling it after it. So those little details are important, aren't they? And part of scaling. But sounds like you're all over it. Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe. That's been really, really lovely. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. Next week we've got some guests, and it's going to be interesting.
We're going to learn about some insurance. I'm excited for that one. Yeah. Looking forward to that recording when it lands.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye.